What is up, everybody? Eddie Barco here, and welcome to the Nebula Music Podcast. This is a show where I talk to some of the coolest people of the music industry and where I try to understand their mindset and really what makes them tick. Today, I'm really excited because I have Cheney Ray, also known as Cray, joining me on this episode. She's a very talented producer, musician, singer, songwriter, gamer. I mean, this girl does so much and she does it really well. If you do what I do and talk to people for a living, sometimes you're lucky enough to have really deep and meaningful conversations with people that you admire, and today is no exception. Cheney and I had a very deep conversation about some of the struggles that she has gone through in this music industry as a woman and as a producer. And let me just say that I think this conversation is very important for all of us that are musicians, all of us that are interested in the music industry, or if you just like the electronic music scene or production scene. It's a very important conversation to tune into because Cheney does a great job of laying out a lot of the issues that women go through as they're trying to make a name for themselves in this industry. And frankly, I think this is a topic that's still not talked about enough. And so I'm very happy that I was part of this conversation and can't wait to share it with you guys. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right in. All right, what is up, guys? Eddie Barco here again, and I'm really excited for this one specifically because I'm genuinely a fan of the next person that I have up here because I was just telling her before the show even started is that I'm very impressed with how she makes her music, her production, and you know, I could spend a long time talking about you, Cheney, but I'm going to go ahead and let you do that. So I'm very excited to have Cheney Ray, also known as Cray, for some of you guys who know who she is, joining me on the episode. Cheney, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Like I said, I'm really excited to have you on. I get excited very easily when I have talented
I'm
people
excited.
on.
Thank you. I get excited too.
I'm glad that you're as excited as I am. But like I said, I don't want to waste any time. I sort of just want to dive in and get to know you a little bit better. It may be a bit of a broad question, but Cheney, maybe you can give me a little bit of your backstory in terms of music. Maybe not even music, but maybe a little bit more about like your past history, how you got started into music and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in Arizona and I moved when I was 3 to Vancouver, BC. So
oh wow,
I'm a dual citizen, and I guess the music scene came on me a little early because the drinking age there is 19. So I got my fake when I was 14, and I was, going to the clubs and watching like Avicii and like deadmau5 and Calvin Harris when they were doing the whole thing. And I feel like I just got into it just because of the group of friends I was in. And like once I went one time, I was like, I have to do this forever. Obviously, it was like the best thing ever. And I just fell in love with it then. So then I wanted to start working in this music scene, but of course I was like, 16 years old. So I wasn't really like, old enough to do much. So I just worked like the guest list. I worked the club. Like I did like promotions for the club. I'd walk around and give out like
at 16
free drink. Well, more like leaning towards my 18.
Got it.
But I wanted to when I was 16 and no one would hire me, obviously. Even though I was still going to the clubs, I was friends with everybody, but I wasn't allowed to work legally for them, but I still was there every day. So I just did a lot of like promo stuff for clubs, guest lists, like all that type of shit. And I fell in love with the scene and I loved being around it. But even Vancouver is a small scene, right? So I was like, okay, like how am I going to see this as, just like, hey, mom and dad, I'm going to be guest list girl forever. Like obviously that wasn't the thing. So I kind of wanted to go back to the States. I want to get back to the heat. Honestly, I was from Arizona, so the weather in Vancouver was very much different.
Polar opposite, basically.
Yeah, polar opposite. So I applied to the only school I applied to was Chapman in Orange County. It was kind of like my like option, like I want to get away from here. So when I was 18, I moved to Orange County, didn't know anyone. The music scene is a little bit different in Orange County. So the drinking was 21. I wasn't 21 yet, so I couldn't really do much. The fakes here are way more intense. Like no one could like get in anywhere. So I was like, okay, I can't even like begin the scene. I was going to the Yost for like the 19 plus nights, There was no jobs in California. Like the jobs have been taken. So I was like, back to square one. I just started doing school. I've never been a school person.
What year was that, by the way? I don't mean to interrupt, but what year was it that you moved to the OC? I'm curious.
When I was 18, and I'm 25 now. So that math.
2011-ish, 2010-ish.
Yes. Yeah. And it feels like yesterday, honestly, but it's been like 7 years. It feels like yesterday. And so I just was like, I guess I gotta just focus on like graduating. I mean, I hate school. I'm not a big school person. I learned disabilities in high school, and I was on like Adderall when I was like 12, and I've always been on. So I was just like, just definitely having a struggle and trying to like become someone in California. I feel like everyone already had their spot, and I didn't really have mine. So, and especially EDM, like it wasn't really as poppin' back in college. Like my kids that I was hanging out with didn't really do that, really.
Especially in the OC.
It wasn't like a thing. Yeah, it wasn't really a thing. Like Observatory had like more like, like bands and shit and like rappers. It was less like EDM-y. Towards the end, it kind of got there, but I just felt kind of like I had to drop it. So I just started doing my degree. I graduated with sociology, which I love, a degree that I love, but I knew that I would never get a job for it. It's just a degree I loved. And during the end, I was like, how am I going to like get into the music world? So naturally, I didn't even think about being an artist. That wasn't even in my realm of thinking. Like there was not even a female artist at the time that was that big enough for me to even like use as like an example. Alison Mono was still in Australia, and Leno was like, no one was really out in America doing it as a woman. Like, Nervo, but those were like, to me, like legends. I was like, there's no way that's one, like,
right.
So in my head, I was like, I gotta just work behind the scenes. Like that was just like my automatic, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a manager, or maybe I'll do some PR, or like maybe an A&R. Like I was trying to like get the music scene that way. And my mother was like, if you're going to do music, you better learn how to do it. Like, nah. She's one of those people who she wants to be very like, she's like, you have to learn and know what you're talking about. And my boyfriend at the time, Vincent, was kind of like starting to come up and like create his own music. So I was like in this like, okay, maybe I'll like dabble and learn how. And like, I don't really know my place. Like I have no music theory. Like I sang when I was a kid. That's it. So I started just like really looking at every YouTube video possible. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I was just like, okay, like maybe I can like, at that time, this is when trap music was just coming up. So it was like Foster Thomas, All Grime was just putting out the trap. Like this is when it was like just popping off.
In its infancy, man. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like I was like, this is the best music I've ever heard. I was like, this is literally like anything I want to make. So I was like, I'm going to make rap beats. Like that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make trap music. Like that's what I'm going to do. Also easier to start, right?
Yeah.
Like the music, I had like 4 channels. I had, like,
that's all you need for a good trap song, honestly.
Literally a sample, and like I had it, So I was like, it's not that hard, like it's not that complicated. Now, obviously, it's way different. So I was like making these like off pitch rap beats that like weren't very thought out or very good. I was putting gaming samples into it because I love gaming. I was like, what else am I going to use at this point? I was using Massive. I feel like now everyone doesn't even use Massive anymore. It was so big back then for trap and like dubstep.
Yeah.
So I was using that, and I was like, okay, we're just going to put it out. I'm just going to put it out because why would I not put it out? But I'm not going to actually start a career by this. Like, I don't care about it. I just want to put it out to put it out. So I put it out under Cray. My name's Cheney Ray, so my parents just called me Cray since I was a baby. So it's just naturally what I was going to call myself. I just put it out. And I was like, fuck it, whatever. And then I got such a response from it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, maybe I'm hitting a place here that is wanted. Like, maybe this is needed in the industry. Maybe there needed a woman making trap music. Maybe this is happening, like, I can do it maybe. I was like, okay, wait, maybe I can do it. So I was like, Mom, I'm going to do it. And she was like, oh God, great. You're going to be a musician. like, like she was like, interesting. And then now obviously she's a big supporter of my music and I couldn't have done it without her. But of course, every parent's going to be like, oh, really? Like, that's what you want to do? You have a degree, like, go away. So me and Rob, we moved to LA with literally no money and nothing. And I was trying to apply to Target. I was like trying to figure out, because music makes no money, right? Like
no,
in the beginning,
not at first.
It's the slowest roll.
Yeah.
So like once you get there, you're good, but it takes a long time to get there, right? Like even to this day, like I am now making money off music because of touring, but like I couldn't live off streams. I couldn't live off things. Like I couldn't right now. Like even still, it's been 4 or 5 years. Like it's still such a slow roll. So when people, obviously think I'm a millionaire, I'm like, okay, I'm still struggling with rent. Like it's definitely like being an artist is definitely not like, Instagram pictures are one thing, but like that's nothing to do with like actual tangible money.
Dude, I love that you say that because it's the truth, man. It's
the truth. So many kids are like, Cheney, like, whoa, you're a millionaire, you're the luckiest person in the world. I'm like, okay, it's been 4 or 5 years living my dream, but holy shit, I am nowhere near even any type of savings. Like now I'm trying to save like pennies. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I live that every day. Trust me.
Yeah, you have to put so much of your money back into your art. Like if you don't want to put PR, then your song's not going to do well. If you want artwork, you have to pay someone. There's no like...
Or else it goes nowhere. You know what I mean?
It goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. So like I was like, fuck. So I was trying to figure out what to do for income. My parents were like, hey, you can't keep, like you can barely afford rent. Like what's going on? Like what's going on here? So I started doing Twitch, which is a gaming platform for live stream gaming.
Love it.
And I started making money, like I could pay rent money. So I was like, okay, great. So I kind of put my music career on a hiatus. I still made music every day. I still did it, but I didn't do it to the point where I was like starving. I wasn't touring yet. I didn't have no agent, no manager. So it wasn't like I was getting shows, and the shows were probably $100. So I was like, twitching was really leaving me to be able to live both careers basically. And so now I have this awesome harmony of doing both and being able to have music in the forefront still and be able to focus on that while also not starving and dying. So I got into this good balance, and that's where I am right now.
That is so cool. I love that you gave me a very good broad spectrum of what it was that you went through to get to this point. And there's so many cool things that I love about your life so far. And I've only gotten a chance to talk to you for about 7 minutes at this point. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like you're someone I want to hang out with. I want to learn from.
I honestly got to this point where I hear so much bullshit from other artists, no offense, or other fans or anyone. And I read all this shit that's not really indicative of my way I got here. They
like
assume,
what kind of bullshit? If I can pick your brain a little bit, like what kind of bullshit?
I don't know. Just like some people be like, oh, I'm giving all my money back to the fans. Like I have no money when they make $20,000 a show. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why are you complaining that you have no money? Like I don't. Humble bragging is one of those things where I feel like we don't need to do it at this point. Like I know how much you make as a show. Like fans probably don't. But we know how much you make for a show, and if you're going to say you're giving it all back to fans, you're not giving $20K to fans. Do you know at this point? Like,
yeah,
a lot of people just do that, or like complain about things that they shouldn't be complaining about, or making it. Or I also hate giving false hope. I'm not going to tell you stop everything you're doing, don't go to college, live your fucking dream because I did it. I'm not going to give that. That's not a reality.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to. I was so nervous and I wanted to die when I was trying to do this. Like I was thinking every day, maybe I should just go to Target. I applied. I was like, why am I not doing the smart thing? Why do I have no savings? I have no stability. What am I doing? So I tell everyone, make sure to do music as a part-time. Don't give up everything to do music and then lose everything. Everything's about balance, Some people are like, live your dream. I'm like, live your dream, but also be smart and don't bet your entire life on your dream. If it doesn't work out, you're fucked.
Yeah, dude, wise words from you. Honestly, man, like, thank you. Thank you for saying that, because that's something I try and share as much as I possibly can, because I think I'm going to take it a step further from you, and you can feel free to disagree with me, but I honestly think there's different types of people out there. And right now, with social media and all this bunch of cool stuff that's happening, there's a lot of attention on those people that are, I don't know how to describe them, but you know how there's a certain type of person that's okay with sort of not like letting go of everything and just kind of seeing what happens. Personally, I feel like myself, and most people aren't like that. It's very hard to sort of let go of everything. But we sort of, we romanticize that whole idea, and it works very rarely. You know what I mean? Like, it's very rare when you just kind of like quit everything, come out to LA, and then you make $1 million. Like, that's not the way it works. They didn't
tell you the true story. They didn't tell you that they had savings. They didn't tell you that their parents helped. They didn't tell you that. Like, there's so many other stories out there, and I don't want any kid to be like, oh my God, look at this story. This guy dropped out of fucking college, had zero money, and somehow now is a millionaire. Like, it doesn't work like that,
Nope.
And sometimes the narrative is told that way. Because I get it. No artist to go, thanks, mom and dad. If I, thanks for the $1 million to start my career. Like, that's why I'm famous. Like, no one's going to say that, right? But sometimes it's important to say, I had support.
Yeah.
I had this that helped me, like, my grandpa gave me a sum of money when he passed away to go to college. I used it all in college. I'm so thankful. I wouldn't have a degree without it. You know what I mean? But I'm never going to tell kids, like, just hope for the best. You'll go to college for free. It doesn't work like that.
No, it's a mixture of having a plan and being able to adjust. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. That's why I said I started twitching when I had music to try and make, it's something work. I didn't want to have to work at Target because I knew if I did, I would never work on music again. So I was like, what can I do at home? I applied to be an Amazon support person. Like, I was trying to, like, really go out there to make a supplement income, because there's no chance someone can live and do music and start from zero with no money. You cannot do it. There's just zero chance unless you have support.
Right. And you were willing to do, like you said, you were willing to go to Target, do Amazon. I'm sure there was tons of other jobs. Here's what I'm curious about, because I love Twitch. I'm a gamer too. Mm-hmm. It's something I don't get a chance to talk a lot about in this channel, which is why I'm excited to talk to you. I guess the question is, what was it about Twitch that caught your attention? And like you were saying, and for some of you guys that don't know what Twitch is, it's huge now, but Twitch is essentially like a YouTube for gamers.
It's live stream.
Exactly. You live stream almost any game, and people probably know of it now because of Fortnite, but
because
it's been around for a while.
Back then it wasn't. Like,
no,
when
it wasn't.
I started twitching, like, I I love gaming. I'm a huge gamer, always have been, always will be.
Top three
So I was
games.
like,
Top three
wait. I was
games,
like,
real quick.
well, my favorite game ever, my favorite franchise is Fallout.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which is a post-apocalyptic role play. Yeah, I play. Those are I have a tattoo for it. It changed my life when I was a kid. So like, I love role-playing games and whatever. I'm not big a multiplayer game, but I still play them anyways.
You ever play Witcher 3? Did you ever get a chance to play that?
Yes. Oh my God, love Witcher.
It's so long, but I love that game. It's one of the best RPGs in my opinion. But yeah, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay,
that's
so
my bread and
Fallout 3.
butter. That's my bread and butter. I can talk about it for hours. My room is literally like every Funko Pop, every fucking Fallout item ever. I'm like a huge weird collector nerd. But when I was like, okay, so one of my good friends from LA is Tucker Jericho. He's a huge streamer, and I was watching him do it, and I was like, okay, wait, if I can make money off gaming, I can stay at home, I could totally do music too, right? Like, this makes sense to me. I can do it. So I asked him for all the help. I was like, honestly, can I do it? He goes, yeah, you're hilarious. I can totally see you doing that. I'll repost your shit. I'll try to help you as much as I can. Like, I think you can try to do it. And I was like, okay, fuck. So I like got him to make me his whole setup. I saved up on this PC. I've never PC gamed in my life. I was only console. I was like, okay, let's do it. So I saved up. I like waited for this PC. There's all these discounts and shit every month and all this crazy shit. I finally got PC, got the setup, started streaming, and I streamed I had like maybe 13 people, 20 people watching me. But
that's not bad for the first time. That's
amazing for the first time, because when you're searching for someone to watch, it goes by numbers. So if there's millions of people streaming to 0 people, you're gonna be lost, right? In that
immediately.
So the fact that I had 20 people watching, because of kind of Cray fans, I already kind of got up there, and I had awesome fans from music come over, and like I was able to do it. If I tell everyone these days, I hit it before the boom.
Yeah.
I dedicated a year of my life. I streamed every day, 4 to 8 hours a day.
Wow.
Okay. It's
Holy
definitely
shit.
it's so much work. And so I did it and it happened, but it's not something you can just like pick up and like be like making income from. Do you know what I mean? Like it's also now with the boom, like there's so many people streaming right now.
It's crazy.
So many people. So I tell people all the time, if you love gaming and you love streaming, do it as a part-time. Same with music. Start as a part-time. There's no sense for you to give up everything to live this dream, because I can't tell you it's going to work out for you. I can't. I'm not going to tell you follow your dreams, because it might not happen. It just might not. I can't, like who knows? Like it could have not happened for me. I didn't think it was going to happen for 4 years. I'm still right now. I still doubt myself. I'm like, what am I even doing? Am I making enough money? Am I making a career out of this? Is this going to last? I ask myself all the time. So like, I don't want to be that, crass bitch who's like dreams aren't real, but like definitely just live your dream, but plan safety, plan so you don't lose everything and you're starting from ground zero.
Yeah, I love that. I'm curious real quick. You ever think that doubt's going to go away? You know how you were saying how even still to this day, no matter how far you take your project, you ever think that doubt sort of goes away? Because I'm sure you have fans that look at you, like you were saying, and they're like, wow, you have amazing music. You live this amazing life. I want to do what you're doing. But yet I can relate to that, because even me with this show, sometimes I get doubts and I'm like, why, like all this hard work, I'm not even sure if it could crash and burn the next day. You know what I mean? So for you, I'm curious, like, what do you feel like that doubt ever goes away?
I don't think so. I'm going to be honest with you, because even when I'm like, look, I didn't think I was ever going to get invited to a show. I didn't think I was ever going to get booked for a show ever. Doubted myself all the time. I got booked for a show. But even when I got booked for a show, I doubted I was going to get a second show. And when I got a third show, I'm still doubting, am I going to go on tour? Am I going to be able to sell out a room? Like the doubt is always there, because there's no rhyme or reason. There's no mathematical, like you do this to equal this, and you're good to go. Do you know what I mean? Like DJ, especially EDM, like at any point in time, I could just lose the hype, and a song could just fail and my booking fee could go down. And what am I going to do? What if I want to take time off? There's always doubt, right? And even I want to go into pop music, more poppy stuff. And that's even more doubt, right? There's already the most beautiful, talented pop artists out there making the most insane music. Like I'm like, oh my God, can I even compete? And when I do compete, like, will I be able to keep it? Like, I don't know. And especially with DJing, like I feel like if I don't tour, I don't make money, right? So I don't want to tour. Like if I didn't have to tour, I wouldn't, but I have to, But like even then I'm like, what if I'm 50? I have to keep touring.
Yeah. Is touring just tiring in your opinion?
It's so tiring. It's just also not creative. I lose a lot of creative. Like, I just really get burnt out when I'm on the road so much, that's why I told my management, like, I'm not a weekend warrior, I'm going to do shows and then take weeks off and do shows and take weeks off. I can't just keep being on, because I will never. I will never be creative. I can't even work on the road. I can't sing on the road because my voice is fucked from yelling on the mic. I don't want to produce in my fucking room because I'm fucking tired and it's 4 a.m. I want to go to bed. I want my studio, my home studio, my PC setup is where I like feel home, you know, like it's where I feel creative. It's just like one of those things where it's just always, there's always going to be doubt, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, also I haven't seen money. So like maybe if I start actually making money, have savings, maybe it'll change, but I don't think it will. I think doubt is always going to be there because what if it just ends? You never know. Like what if people don't want to see your show anymore? What if your music doesn't portray anymore? Like this is not like you're working at Target, nothing, you know, you could get fired. Like at any point in time, any day, people could stop buying tickets.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and I'm honestly, genuinely just curious, what keeps you going then? Because honestly, and again, I love what you're saying, and I think it's refreshing because I relate to this every single day.
Right.
But, you know, sometimes it's interesting for me to try and think about what exactly is it that keeps me going, because of that fear of constantly almost failing, you know what I mean? That's always in the back of your mind. So for you, is your goal basically just to be the next biggest pop star? Is that what keeps you going? Or I'm just genuinely curious.
I think what keeps me going is the records that I make that change people's lives or help people or be there for them. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like hearing someone's story, someone getting a tattoo because the song Peaches really hit home to them, as make me going, okay, I'm doing something right. Do you know, like clearly I'm like on the right train. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like maybe this is the purpose I have to be. And I really, in the end of the day, I just want to be able to give my voice to people. Like on stream, I have a lot of real chat discussions where I talk for hours about like the reality of life. I'm very like logical and cynical. And I just want I want to be able to be there for people and tell people it's not some, you know, dream or some, like I'm always happy. Like I cry all the time. I'm always sad. Like this job is hard. And when people are like, it's so easy, you gotta just play fucking music for people and make millions. I'm like, you're fucking crazy. Like I get I get it. 9 to 5 sucks, and I'm not. But there's no place to compare. There's no place to compare. Do you know what I mean? Like I hate that when people try to compare, but you can't even know what I'm going through if you're not in my shoes at all. And on my Instagram looks fucking popping because I'm smiling on it. You know, like what am I gonna do? Post me sad? On Twitter, I post a lot of real shit. I post a lot of really emotional shit and like me, the real deal. And I want people to know that. It's hard too. And I don't know why. I'm just doing it because I think it's creative. I think it's just like one of those things where you're giving your heart and soul into music. I don't want to let it go.
I love that.
If I didn't make music, if I was a DJ, then I would absolutely not be a DJ anymore. I would be doing something else. I'd be getting a real job, 100%.
Wow.
Like let's say I didn't love making music. If I didn't make music, I was just like, let's say I just got into DJing. There's no way I'd still be DJing now.
Wow. Powerful, dude. I mean, I'm glad that you're saying that. And you know what? I'm curious. You mentioned this a little bit earlier on how you get messages from people or some of the fans feel like your music speaks to them. And you mentioned Peaches, which, by the way, I love that song. And there's a very specific message in that song that I actually quite enjoyed when I heard it. But can I ask you real quick, is that song specifically about you? Because if I'm not mistaken, that song, and you can feel free to correct me, but that song is about being judged or someone basically judging you, thinking that they know you, which is basically something that we're talking about here. Is that about a very specific thing that happened to you, or are you sort of generalizing in that song?
It was just about, I was getting to a point in my life where the bigger I'm getting is obviously the more hate I'm getting, which is granted, obviously, as a person with influence. And I was just sick and tired of seeing, you know, messages that were so hateful and so full of, I don't know how to even explain it. Like I love constructive criticism. I don't think I think people are going to hate my songs. I think people aren't going to like my songs. And that is completely okay and normal because I don't like some people's songs. I don't like Blank and Blank's new music, but am I going to go on the internet and completely shit on them and try to make them feel ugly or stupid? No. So it was kind of about this. Social media is just so toxic nowadays of things that they don't like. And I think it's okay to not like something, but I don't think it's okay to shit on someone. So basically the song was about me just being a woman and feeling like I got no credit for what I've done. You know, I always got asked if a guy helped me or if I dated this guy to get here or whatever. It was just about like, you know, taking the bricks you throw at me and just using it as ammo to become better. You know, I just wanted people to realize that I get hate on me every day, and I'm going to turn into something better, and hopefully other people can too.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's what I assumed that your song was about. And I'm happy that you released something like that because it's something that I've noticed happening a lot more lately. And obviously, I think hate towards women in general in the music industry has always existed, you know, and I don't like personally, I don't like labeling like a girl guitarist or girl producer or girl blah, blah,
It's
blah.
insanity.
Yeah, it's you're a producer, you're a guitarist, you're a musician, period, regardless if you're a man or a woman. And for you, I can imagine that sometimes, or at least at the very beginning, when you were first starting to try and make a name for yourself, I can only imagine, and maybe I'm wrong, that a lot of that hate might have been surprising and maybe it hit you hard. And I'm curious, like, did that happen?
Yeah. I mean, like, there's probably the lowest parts of my life is trying to not let that shit get to me. The most probably get shit on for is being pretty, which is the weirdest thing in the world, right? I get shit on the most for being pretty. She's too pretty to be a producer. She's too pretty to make trap music. She's too pretty to DJ. She's just too pretty. Like, clearly it's a facade. Clearly she's a model. And then the other stuff's paid for. Like, I'm like, if I was ugly, I wouldn't get. I'm like so confused as to why that's a diss. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're turning something that I'm not even confident in myself. I'm so insecure all the time. Just because I have an Instagram and it makes me money and I'm working on it does not mean that I fucking sit home every day, take photos of myself and love how I look. I fucking hate parts of myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hate when people are like, "You're just too pretty." I'm like, excuse me? How is that? How are you going to turn something like that into something mean? Do you know, like, to me, it just blew my mind. I just didn't understand. I was like, this is so stupid. And then within those messages, getting dick pics and getting fucking sent the most awful messages. So, like, I have people saying I'm too pretty that it's not real. People saying I'm ugly and stupid. And people also hitting on me and telling me that they want to, bang me and take me to fucking Milan or some shit on a trip. Like, I get like the weirdest messages, right? And like, of course, I have 50% of the most amazing fans in the world who are absolutely the best people, but the other 50% is a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
We don't realize it.
Can I ask you, and obviously I don't really know the answer, to be honest, but I'm curious what you think, because I personally think this is something that as a society we're trying to deal with. You know what I mean? Me specifically, like, I don't claim to be any perfect person. I'm sure I've had my moments in the past where I also haven't respected people. But I'm curious for you, like, where do you think a lot of this hate sort of comes from? Do you feel like it's because a lot of these people are insecure in themselves, or is it just society, or what?
It took me a long time. I go to therapy regularly since I was 12, actually. And I was talking to my therapist. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I want to talk back. I want to fight back. I was like getting like very like, I want to be like a fucking warrior. And she goes, you can't do that because these people are hurting more than you are. She's like, how much? She's like, Cheney, at your lowest point, would you ever comment hate on someone? And I was like, never. She goes, that's because that's your lowest point. Imagine being so low that you have to put hate towards someone else. Like, I couldn't even imagine. I've been the most depressed I've ever been. I wanted to kill myself, but I've never wanted to ever hurt anyone, right? Like, that's just never been in my. So I don't know what these people are going through, something that is leading them to think that's okay to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know their demons, and I don't want to add to them either. So instead of fighting back, I always just respond with like love, or just not respond at all and just let it just slide, because there's no point in me fighting someone that's hurting just too.
Yeah. Is that hard for you to do, to be honest, to give that love back?
Of course, sometimes I get, spicy and I respond. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, obviously there's some comments where I'm like,
that's what I would do, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If I was in your shoes.
Some of them, like, if they're not like the ones that are like, fuck you, bitch, I'll kill you. Obviously those ones I don't respond to. But if there's ones being like, oh, like, haha, like, she just got verified because her boyfriend. I'm like, are you fucking insane? I'm like, if only life was that easy. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be doing shit, okay? Like, I would just be chilling on a beach if I could get everything handed to me to my boyfriend. That'd be fucking amazing.
What a great point.
But life doesn't work like that. Yeah, I speak a little bit of real talk to them, but I'm never rude back. I just want them to realize how dumb they sound. Because in all honesty, I would be fucking popping if my boyfriend gave me all this shit. He's fucking killing it right now, and I'd be fucking doing crazy bass shit if that's what I was doing. That's not how it works in this industry at all.
Yeah, it's very hard to get something handed. Like, I mean, obviously, if we think hard enough, we can sort of figure out people out there that sort of had the easy way. But in general, personally, I think anyone who's ever made a name for themselves, there's hard work involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm sick of people thinking fans are dumb, right? Fans are fucking smart. They can see when you're not genuine. They can see when you're doing shit that's fucking, they can just see it. Like,
yeah.
It's not, they're not dumb. They can obviously notice when things aren't genuine. They can obviously notice when things are being handed to people. They're not stupid at the end of the day. They might not be as aware as people in the industry, but they can see right through shit too.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I'm curious what you think. Like, do you feel like at least in the genre that you're in, I know I am starting to see more girls get into that. But it is, in my opinion, still a very male-dominated genre, especially in the electronic scene. Do you feel like that's sort of changing? Are more girls sort of getting into the whole producing scene?
Of course. I feel like, change is happening, but it's definitely not, I'm not going to tell you it's moved 1%. It's moving slowly, And like, we also get fucked in the sense when you put on females just to put on females, it fucks us in another way too, because you're not putting people on who deserve it, then it also fucks us, right? So like, if you're just putting on someone who has no idea what the fucking they're doing up there just to say you booked a female, that's not going to help us either. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, just be somewhere to support women and give women a chance to prove themselves and work hard, and that's all we need. There's equality right there, okay? We don't need to be put on because you feel bad. We don't need to be put on an all-girl lineup. I say no to every all-girl lineup ever because it's fucking stupid. I don't need to be like on a goddess lineup. Like, why would I want to? I just want to be on a lineup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the more you separate, the worse it gets.
I love that. No, I love that you're bringing a good point to that, because, I mean, the way the industry is, it's always going to be weird. You know what I mean? But I love that you are sort of saying that it needs to be about skill, period. You know what I mean?
Yes. Like, and some people aren't as good as others, and that's fine. Just give them a chance. But you don't have to just overboard it and try to find every female you can. Just be like, oh, look, I put 15 females on this lineup. Like, that's not going to help anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just put girls on a lineup who deserve it and who are working their asses off. And there's a ton of them out there.
Now, do you feel like they make those? And again, I'm just sort of speculating, but do you feel like these lineups, do they help at all in your opinion? I mean, I know you're saying that it's a lot of these are done because, just to sort of say that, hey, look at all these girls. Do you feel like they help at least a little bit? I'm just curious.
Of course. Like, I think that they also help anyone get like a chance to practice. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's such value to be able to practice your set and be able to play in front of people. But I would way rather it just be a night of fucking people playing than it to be all targeted pink girl. Like, I hate, like, that's part of the problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, you should just be saying, like, here's gonna be an awesome fucking night. It's called fucking Chicken Nuggets show, and these are the fucking people playing. It should just be. There shouldn't be like a goddesses, like, only females. Like, that's not, why separate us more? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love your thought process, Cheney. I mean, I gotta say, I'm very. This time has flown by, to be honest with you. I'm like, dude, really this is real talk, and I absolutely fucking love it. And I could spend hours talking about this subject because I feel like,
dude, hours.
Right. And I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think you're doing your part to change it. And as long as you're doing you, as long as Cheney is just being the best Cheney that she can be, I obviously refer to you in the third person. I honestly think that's the way to change things, because I feel like girls can see what you're doing, and you're killing it in two worlds, by the way, in the gaming world and in the music world. And I think there's going to be some girls out there that are going to see what you're doing and want to do it themselves their own way. And I think that's the important part, is what you're saying with your life story, is it wasn't easy for you, and it's still not easy for you, and you have your doubts and you have your struggles, but you're doing the best you can, and that's why you're fucking killing it. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Yeah, and we need more people to not do like only all girl articles or all girl interviews or all girl questions. Like, we need to erase that fucking mentality and erase that, like, oh, I'm just going to say it because it's good PR for me. Like, just fucking ask a ton of producers what the fuck you want to ask and put it on a fucking interview instead of just going, all girl trap producers who are girls, best girl producers right now. Just say best producers right now and have a fucking mixed list.
Love that. Yes. Right? Don't separate it. I like that.
Don't separate it. And also, the more I get asked, like, what's it like being a female producer? I'm like, I don't even know how to answer that question. Like, I'm sure I go through the same struggles any producer goes through.
Exactly.
It's like they think I'm gonna like PMS and go crazy during my production. Like, I don't know. Like, there's no difference. Like, I don't want stop asking that way, and we're we get better.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I feel like us as guys, I mean, I'll be honest here. I think we can be very, not ignorant, but, very aloof to how it feels like to sort of be labeled, because to us, we're sort of dominant in almost everything that we do. You know what I mean? Like, in every single genre that we're in. And again, this is sort of sidetracking a little bit, and I don't necessarily want to spend so much time sidetracking all the time, but it's important. And I think just as guys out there, like, it's important to just at least stop the labeling in terms of girl this, boy that. I mean, actually, we don't say male producers now that I think about it. We just say producers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just look at the art that's being presented objectively. Just look at it as art. Don't look at the girl and talk about how she's pretty or not. If you don't like the art, the songs, you don't like the song, you don't like the song. You don't need to say, I don't like the song. Also, you're a model, so you're not like. You don't need to add all the bullshit. Just say, I don't like the song.
Yeah.
Right? Just look at art like you look at any other song, and also don't just cut at women. You don't know what the fuck. Like, don't assume that someone's producing my shit for me. Maybe ask me questions and I'll tell you about my shit. I'll tell you who's helped me, who's not helping me. I'll tell you everything you need to know. Just don't automatically assume and spew hate and then tell your 9 guy friends, no, actually, she doesn't produce her own shit. She's too pretty. It just leads to bullshit.
Yeah. Fuck
Also,
that.
ask questions. Any man, ask questions. I love when boyfriends, brothers, my dad ask me questions. How can I be a better advocate for you? Like, how can I be better?
Yeah, I love that. How can we be better? Honestly, and you've been answering it perfectly. And I love this conversation. These are conversations we need to have and not be afraid of having them, because that's how we get better on both sides. You know,
Agreed.
and primarily our side, because I feel like that's where we need to work. But honestly, like, I know you're a very busy person and I love talking to you. I'm just curious, like, what do you have on your plate right now? Like, what's new in your world? I know you have new music out and you're working on new stuff. It's a weird ass transition coming from a very interesting conversation.
I know, right? I'm like in like
absolutely
full rant mode.
But that's what we want. And I love it. And, you know, sometimes we got to do these transitions. They're weird as fuck, but we got to do them. Tell me like a little bit about what you're up to lately.
I'm being like, this whole year's been about like finding my sound, and like as much as I love trap music, I've really transitioned out of bass music, because I've always been a good writer, and I've always had a lot of things to say. As you can tell in this interview, I went off for like an hour about like fucking women's rights or like other shit, like dreams and whatever. So like I've always wanted to write. So I started saying like, you know what, I'm gonna start writing on my trap songs. But guess what? EDM vocals are not really in the forefront on EDM.
Yeah.
Right, it's more the production, right? Less writing, more production. So I was having a lot of trouble trying to fit my writing into these bass songs. I just wasn't being able to do it, you know, like I just couldn't figure it out. I was like, manager, what the fuck do I do? And she goes, why don't you stop fucking trying to make bass music and make whatever the fuck you want? And I was like, oh, weird concept. I guess I could do that. So I started, started writing more, and I'm really practicing how to sing. I started learning how to play piano. I kind of started learning music theory a little backwards. I didn't learn music theory before I produced, so I was definitely struggling in that front.
All by ear, huh?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it was a lot. And I started getting in the room with a ton of different producers and a ton of different writers, and just learning a new concept of writing. So I'm used to being on my computer making these rap beats, right? Just making like heavy bass 808s, like let's go, sampling everything, like let's go. It's really fun. And then I turned into like, I want to make a full constructed song, which I've never done before. So I was like, I need help. I want to learn. So I started in these rooms with different producers, and I was learning so fucking much. Like I will never understand the vast world of producing. I will never it's
impossible.
It's impossible. I will be 90 and still like learning a new thing every fucking 6 seconds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so vast. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, my brain was exploding. I was like, if I want to make these amazing mature records, like I'm going to need help. I'm going to need guidance. Cause like I can't even fathom making a full record with full vocals I'm doing. Tracking vocals on Ableton was literally the worst thing in my existence. I was like, fuck this whole scenario. So I started doing on Studio One, which is way more friendly. So even that was like, I felt like I learned 2 months faster. So I was like, oh my God, Studio One is so user friendly. I can do it. I can see it. There's different colors. I can see what tracks I don't want. I can favorite which ones I want. Drag them in, done. So I was like, okay, at least like feel like I'm getting somewhere, you know, like I'm learning. Each producer is telling me new things. Each writer is telling me, you know, these words don't really work in songs very well because you can't really understand them. I'm like, oh my God, wow, crazy. So I'm just learning all this stuff, and it's been so rolling but so beautiful. So Peaches came out, and then I had Fractions, which is a super vulnerable song. So all my songs I have now are all written and vocals by me and produced by me and helped with other people. Like Kid Fruipy has been an amazing help. He's an amazing producer. I love him. And I've just been like trying to make these like mature records with my voice, with shit being said, like my story. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick of the same vocals. Like, I love you, baby. We're gonna go to the party. We're gonna drink beer. Red Solo cups. Like, woo, get fucked up. Like, I'm sick of the same narrative. I was like, I want to start writing about stuff that really matters to me.
Can I ask you real quick? I know you said that you're learning music, like theory and that kind of thing. Is it harder now? Because obviously I've trained I taught myself how to read music and all that stuff when I was a kid. Yeah. But I remember at first everything was by ear. You know, you kind of remember patterns and all that stuff. Is it weird now, sort of making your music now that you sort of
it's so backwards.
Yeah, I can imagine. So like how much more difficult is it to make a song now that you're kind of trying to balance and insert some knowledge into your ear knowledge? You know what I mean?
I think now I doubt myself a lot more because I'm like, oh my God, this chord does not go with this chord. When I made trap music, I was like, fucking whatever. I was like, you know, just warping shit. I was hoping for like it's not, if it's off key, like fuck it, no one really cares. Now it's pop music and like more like these songs, like every key matters, you know?
Yeah, has to be polished.
Single, each fucking master, like everything has to like complete the whole record. So now that I'm learning all these fucking chords and I how to make music and play piano and like songs and like keys, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like overthinking everything now, you know? I'm like, oh my God, each move has to be meticulously perfect. And that's what makes sense though, because pop hits, what makes a hit, not all songs make a hit. Look at all the songs in the world. Fucking 10 on the radio right now. 10. You know what I mean?
What a good observation.
Are written and produced by 100 different people. So that's another thing I'm sick about is people being like, oh, wow, you get help on music? Absolutely. Like, you think I'm going to be a stubborn person and sit in my room and not accept help and for a better record? You're crazy. Of course I want to be better. I want the song to be better. I want to learn. Like, I'm not going to go, no, like only me. Songs wouldn't be the songs. Peaches wouldn't be peaches. Fractions wouldn't be fractions without like the help and the expertise I've gotten and the mastering I've helped. I'm so bad at mastering. I need help. Like, there's some things that you need. And when I look at these fucking pop songs, there's 600 people on it, right? There's 50 writers, 50 producers. Of course, collaboration is so important. All our biggest records, which people don't realize, even EDM, all the biggest EDM records have multiple people on it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. I mean, first of all, nobody's good at mastering, okay? I don't care what you say. Mastering is fucking hard.
I'm like, I can't hear the difference.
I know. I've sat down with some actually mastering pros, and they're like, yeah, so if you move the mid-band up just slightly and blah, 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 and it made it wider, I'm just like, I can't hear the difference, but they can.
I'm like, yeah, it sounds so good. Like, just save it.
I just trust what they're saying, but thank you so much for saying that because it's so true. I think I'm going to put myself in those shoes because I'm a drummer, so I come from a musician's mindset, and I've transitioned from that mindset since, but it was so easy for me back then to sort of judge when someone had a whole bunch of people on their track. And I think, you know, it's okay if you want to be a solo guy, like if you want to only do anything by yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
also, if you're fucking that talented, go off. Do you know what I mean? If you're that confident in your fit, slay away.
But if you need to have a team and you want to learn and get a little bit better, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the same, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I love that.
There was just no chance for me to make trap music and to go making these poppy, like indie songs. Like, it was a completely different ball game. Right? So I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to make these mature records? Like, I'm going to need, and I was so scared because everyone is always like, you know, judging you. Like, if anyone's helping you, you know, it's fucking bullshit. I'm like, you need to understand that all your favorite records are collaborative works.
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them.
I think the only exception might be Prince. Maybe. You know what I mean?
Right. Maybe.
Maybe. And that's a big maybe.
And like, I think that's okay. I think we have to get out of the world that like, I think we have to get out of the world of like, you know, like everyone's trying to shit on everyone for everything. Just, if you enjoy the music, then enjoy the music. That's the end of the day.
Yeah. And enjoy the process too.
Enjoy the process.
Cheney, you're awesome, okay? And I mean that. You are a trailblazer. You're doing a lot of really cool things that I think people should admire. And I love your mindset and that you are not apologetic for your point of view. That's also very important. And I think, honestly, I think you're going to keep killing it. You're probably going to get a lot huger than you think. And I think a lot of people are going to use you as an example in the future. And frankly, there's so much more we can talk about. I think you said everything you needed to say. And I'm curious, like specifically for people out there that are interested in sort of making their own music. Maybe they're not musically talented in their eyes. Maybe like you, they didn't know music. Or maybe there's a whole bunch of girls out there that want to become producers and do what you're doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, you've said everything already. But if you could just summarize what someone could possibly do to kind of become better and sort of do what they want to do and pursue their dreams without necessarily, you know, giving up everything, like what would you suggest for them to do?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, and like I think another big thing is to make friends with other people in your lane, you know, like make friends with the people around you, the other small producers, other up and coming. Like you have so much to learn from and everyone can help, you know, like even if you have 5 people who are all starting to make music, all of you, it's different. Everyone's watching you differently. Every new eye could come just because your friend reposted your song. Like, you know, like get everyone to support you and try to get that friend group and support group early on because it's so important to come up with other producers. You know, you're doing it together. Yeah. It's our lane, you know, like never be afraid to ask for help. Never be afraid to be different. Like if you want to make some weird whack-ass music, just fucking go for it. Don't ever look at a song and go, I want to make something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just make what comes to you because producers get so stuck in making a certain type of beat like someone else and you will never get there. You'll never get to that certain beat, you know, because that's already been done.
Yeah.
You know, like really just try to create and like also like honestly, I would recommend learning music theory at the same time you start producing because it's just helpful. you know, like I had to backtrack and start learning it now. Like it's definitely more helpful to like learn kind of similar times, and like even learning piano is so helpful producing. Like
Right?
it just makes chords and like just makes everything a little bit easier. So that definitely helps too.
Awesome. Wise words from Ms. Cheney, also known as Cray, guys. Thank you so much, Cheney, for your time. You are
Thank
awesome.
you.
Seriously.
You too. That was awesome. Call anytime. We can do many interviews.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Cheney. As I mentioned throughout the interview and at the beginning of the episode, I think this topic is important to talk about now more than ever, honestly. And frankly, I think this topic will always be important to talk about because there are changes that need to be made in this industry. I love when I have meaningful conversations with people because I think that's how we empower change. Listen, at the end of the day, if you're a man or a woman and you're a fan of the show and have listened to me for a while, you know that I'm a big fan of everybody doing their own thing and going after what they want. And I think this conversation shines a light that sometimes it isn't easy to go after what you want. You will face a lot of obstacles. But honestly, and I think the biggest takeaway with this conversation is remaining true to who you are and believing in your skills and ignoring everybody, no matter what the obstacles are. If you truly want something, and I firmly believe this, if you truly want something, then you'll find a way. As a man, I'll never be able to fully understand the challenges that someone like Cheney goes through in this music industry, but I'm passionate about it. I think that by talking about it, by being honest and being real like we were in this conversation, we can slowly start making changes for the better. And I know that I definitely will put into consideration some of the things that Cheney talked about. I never want to be someone that brings somebody else down, especially a woman who's trying to make a name for herself. I never want to be the reason why they don't want to chase their dreams. And I don't think any of my fans or you guys who are listening want to be that type of person either. So it's just food for thought. Definitely some topics in there that are not easy to talk about, but I love that we get a chance to be a part of it. Cheney, again, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. I love what you're doing. I love your work. Keep on being amazing. And to all of you listening to the conversation, do your thing. Go out there, pursue your dreams, be who you want to be, and don't let the haters bring you down. If you enjoyed this conversation, definitely consider subscribing. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, basically anywhere where you can find a podcast, you'll find me on there. And definitely follow me on this journey because I'm trying to talk to all the coolest people in the music industry and really try to dive deep into their mindset. And maybe, just maybe, you'll feel inspired to do the same, get out there and make a name for yourself.